Alright, before we get started, this is our character, Gordur Landclaimer. On paper, he's off half orc, mainly because I only have access to books that are. I only have access to the player's handbook, the monster manual, and. What was it called? Monsters of the Multiverse. So, because of that, he's meant to be a proper orc, but because I don't have the appropriate books for his stat pool, half orc is the better stats and better passives. Now, to determine stats, I figure since a lot of the Twisted Worlds revolves around dice rolling, I do 5d6s and take 3 dice for different stats. Now, because of that, I also decided to roll 3 different stat pools for them in order to give me a variety of rolls. As you can see, 16 came up quite a bit, surprisingly. Yeah, I was legitimately surprised. Either way, I put them into the stats and I've allocated the stat pool. So, let's get to it and start the very first adventure of the Twisted Worlds. We begin our tale within a small town, not far off from a forest and nearby farms. Gordur left his tribe to settle his own land. He took up in the forest and built a home out of the nearby trees, making a homestead. Near the homestead, which is less than a day's walk for Gordur, is the very same small town. Gordur would go there to get his supplies that the homestead cannot provide. But this was no ordinary day for Gordur. For you see, at the time when Gordur was in town, he heard 2 people arguing. There was rumors going around the town of strange burn marks around a nearby farm. One says it's false or a prank by some mischievous fiends or some ne'er-do-well kids. Now, the other, however, thinks a monster of some kind is burning the land. So Gordur, being a man who lives in nature and able to track beasts, and is able to cure and handle for many, many different animals, says he will look into the mysterious burn marks. Gordur decided it'd be best to investigate in town first, to know which farm was affected the most. Gordur decided to talk to his local supplier, the one who will always get him the items he needs for his homestead. Hello, Mr. Thomas? Ah, Gordur. What can I do for you? In town for supplies? That was my original intent. However, Nowadays, I've been hearing rumors of those burn marks in the by farms. Ah, a tough time for these people, I'd say. Yes, I was wondering, you wouldn't happen to know the the farm that is most affected by these strange rumors, would you? First roll into Nat 20. Okay. Oh boy. Ah, yes. I happen to do know. You see, I have ideal supplies not just to me. I I don't just give supplies to you. I also give supplies to other people. And I also get a lot of seedlings coming in. I work the farm. The farm that works there, that is one of my best customers, you see, is the one that is most affected by all this. That is old Jenkins' place. I believe that's the farm you need to look for. Tell him Thomas sent you. Thank you. I'll be sure to investigate. Alright, I am off. I'll hold on to those supplies for you, Gordur. Alright. I'll see you another time. Gordur leaves the shop. He makes his way out of town to the nearby farm, the Jenkins farm. Upon entering, Gordur believes it's best if he talks to Jenkins first. Excuse me. Are you Jenkins? Yeah, I'm Jenkins. You're that orc that's been coming in and out of town from the forest. What are you doing here? Thomas sent me. I work a homestead in the forest. So, I figured I'd look into these rumors about the weird burn marks around your farm. Ah, that's what you're here for. Very well. But why should I let you go sniffing around my farm? I genuinely want to help. This town's been good to me, and you're one of their primary suppliers of food and resources. I don't trust you very well. But if Thomas vouches for you, I suppose it can't hurt to have you have a little look around. But I got my eye on you, you see. I appreciate it. Now, the burn marks are mostly by the carrot patch. However, there's also some by the lettuce. You might be able to find some tracks around there. Much obliged. So Gordur had a small lead. He goes towards... He decides to head towards the lettuce. He figures if there's more clues around the carrots, it'd be best to get the lesser of the two out of the way. As such, he decides on the lettuce for such reasons. He heads towards them and looks around for the burn marks. Roll for advantage because he's looking for something specific. Yep, he notices scorch marks around some of the lettuce. He investigates the lettuce with the scorch marks. And that's a natural 1. He does not find anything in particular wrong with it. So, the only thing he needs to know is that, for some reason, whatever the scorch marks are being made by was near the lettuce. So he decides to head towards the carrots. Sure enough, there's quite a few scorch marks around this patch. He investigates the area. Well, that's better roll than lost. When he approaches, he notices that some of the carrots are being removed by force, as if something's digging them up, ripping them from the ground. And the scorch marks are all around as well. He goes to investigate further. Roll to free. Okay. So, it is unfortunate he doesn't notice anything else. The scorch marks and the carrots are eluding him. He's quite confused. He takes a small breath. What is going on here, Gordur? Maybe something odd is happening, but you just can't figure it out. What do I do now? He hears a small rustling sound coming from near towards the forest. Upon then, he looks towards the ground. And notices small tracks leading from the patch all the way to the forest. He investigates the tracks. He notices these are very small prints, very, very small. This was not a beast that was quite large and dangerous, but the scorch marks, oh, they beg to further question. Now, Gordur ponders, what could make scorch marks and is small enough to leave very tiny tracks and would live in the forest? He remembers hearing tale of some creatures that make that, but the name escapes him. He opted to go see old Jenkins. Try and find a way. See if he knows anything. Jenkins. Aye, what you want, orc? I found small tracks by the scorch marks leading into the forest. Small tracks? Yes. No bigger than the size of my thumb. Oddly enough. I don't know much about that. Maybe someone in town would have an idea. I see. Well, I'll head back to town and see if I can find out more information. Then I'll head to the forest and check. Alright, you do that. Gordur returns to town. He returns to see Thomas. Ah, Gordur. Any luck? Yes. Yes. I found some small tracks leading into the forest by the scorch marks. Small tracks, huh? Thomas ponders. I'm afraid I don't know much about that, but I believe we have someone in town who might know. Potentially, they're an old hunter, you see. They're a hunter. Very well, I'll talk to him. He has a hut not too far from the town. Alright, I shall proceed. Walking around, Gordur headed towards the hut. He found a grizzled old hunter sharpening arrow tips. And then he talked to him. Excuse me, good hunter. Yes, what can I do for you? I'm investigating scorch marks around farms. Scorch marks around farms? That's a new one. What? Is a dragon making a salad or something? No, these are. Unless the dragon has feet the size of my thumb. No. Small foot. Scorch marks, huh? I wonder. The hunter tries to recall what he knows of small beasts. Huh. Actually, I might know of a creature. Never seen one, they tend to be rare, but they are they are said to be found around forests and would love to eat vegetation. Really? What kind of creature is this? We call it a flarebit. A flarebit? Yeah. What kind of creature is a flarebit? Quite specifically, they're rabbits. Rabbits. Yeah. But unlike other rabbits, they have a unique tendency. As a defense mechanism, they can, as the name implies, flare. They can burst into a flame in varying degrees. A rabbit that can burst into flame? Yeah. And they'll come out perfectly unscathed. It's strange. They're rare, but they are also quite intelligent. I see. So you think these flarebits might be the cause of the scorch marks around the farm? Maybe. If they're real, that is. But I suppose that's better to go by than just. But it's a logical outcome, you would say. If they do exist, it is logical that they would be. Then that fits perfectly. Very well. I shall go and see if I can track them down. Very well. I shall see you later. Gordur had a lead. It wasn't very reliable, but it was something to go on, better than nothing. So, he headed towards the farm and started following the tracks from there into the forest itself. This forest is a home to Gordur. He knows his way around. If flarebits are real, they would need a safe place to hide and burrow. If they're like ordinary rabbits in the case. Somewhere near water. And somewhere very close. Gordur remembers there's a stream not too far from where his homestead is. He decides to follow it. In order to find these creatures, or even some sign of them. He walks downstream. He's relatively high stream in the forest. So he's yet to encounter these flirbits. He decides the best way to do this is to head downstream. If he's never encountered them, they're more likely to be down than up. So, let's see if we can find anything. Roll for advantage since he knows the forest well. Yikes. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Maybe I should think about this more carefully. The farm itself. The river is to the west of the forest. What if they're able to move greater distances thanks to the defenses they have? Gordur decides to look further away from the stream. Second time's the charm. Oh, dang. That's double 18. Ooh, 1 in 40 chance of something happening. Is that good, or is that going to be good luck or bad luck? Oh boy. So, sorry. Ugh. So, there's plenty of scorch marks around here. I wonder. They all look like they're heading towards the same direction. Maybe, just maybe, I can find these. He pauses. He sees a small hole. And within it, a flicker of white. Out comes not 1 or 2, but 3 snow white rabbits with small tinges of orange and red. My word. Are these flirbits? As he exclaims and slowly approaches, the flirbits become on guard. A small heat radiating from their fur the leaves around them slowly burning up and catching small flame. Albie, you really are flarebits. Gordur can easily kill these creatures if need be. But he wants to try to see if he can see if he can try to avoid combat with these creatures. If they are rare, killing them would be horrible. Luckily, he knows how to comfort beasts. He knows how to raise animals. He knows how not to scare them, despite being an orc. Gets down low. Pulls a small bit of rations from his pack. And holds it out to the animals. Roll for advantage. Hopefully not a horrible roll. Ah, 20! Whew. Didn't want to kill these things. That would be bad for a first video. Yeah. The flarebits took a shine to him. They now view Gordur as friend and not foe. As such, all he can do now is find a way to keep them from going into the farm and taking the produce. He decides to take them to his homestead. He scoops them up, takes them to a new home. He grows plenty of produce here for self-sustainability. As such, he is able to care for these creatures even when he's away. They are self-sufficient enough, after all. With his work done, he goes to see old Jenkins. Jenkins? You here? It's the orc. What can I do for you now? I've solved your little, animal issue. Really? You need not worry about your crops anymore. Well, that's good to hear. Gordur now thinks it's best to go talk to the old hunter. Tell him that the flarebits are real, and he's keeping them near his homestead in order to protect them. Well, That's good of you. Rare creatures flarebits are. Hopefully they don't burn your place to the ground. Yeah. Yeah. He then goes to town and informs them that the scorch marks have been dealt with. He then goes to Thomas in order to learn, in order to get his supplies that he ordered. Good on you, Gordur. Here, here's a little something from me. You've done good by us. Then he aims to return to his homestead. As he returns to his homestead, he learns, as he's thinking, his next visit might require him to find some more produce, something that's quick to grow. Something that will allow the flarebits to have an ample food. As he walks, something strange catches his eye. So this is how it's going to go. He sees tire tracks. Wait, no, not tire tracks. Wheel tracks, that's it. Within the wheel tracks, he knows a slip of paper. Names. They have names. Descriptions of different people. And an amount of gold next to their names. Something about this doesn't sit right with Gordur. He follows the tracks. He sees a small caravan. He silently approaches. As he does, not a single person in the caravan notices. He looks into the caravan. And then he sees, within one of them, is a caged carriage. within it. Holds a very disturbing sight. Men, women, and children in chains. A truly horrifying sight. He knew from one look what these people were. Slavers. Gordur then stands to make his presence known. You! The guards are startled. Who are you? And what are you doing here? One guard says, scared. You tell me what you're doing here. What are you doing with these people? Answer me now! His booming voice echoes. That's not a great roll. Not bad, but not great. Okay. So, it's not any of your business, the guard says shakily. He's scared, but not to the point where he'd give up. Answer me now! Men, to arms! Upon hearing that, Gordur readies his battle axe. It is time for battle. Rolling for initiative. Gordur. Ah, not bad. Ooh. One guard will go before Gordur. Let's see how tough they are. Okay. The lead guard lunges forth towards Gordur, readying his sword. He strikes at Gordur. Unfortunately, Gordur's adept. He knows combat well from his tribe. He avoids the attack. Gordur then strikes at the guard. He strikes, managing to hit the guard, but just narrowly. Despite narrowly hitting him, he slices a tendon, and a major artery. The life slowly fades from the guard's eyes. One guard down, free to go. The rest of the guards charge. The first one, striking at Gordur. Managing to hit him. Ouch. Jeez. He struck him hard in the arm. A massive cut along his chest. Very dangerous wound. The other guards charge. One greatly misses. Oh, crap. That's a 20. The other strikes at Gordur. Slashing his body in pieces. Slashing parts of his body. Almost Gordur is starting to feel faint. This is gonna be awkward if he dies. I don't have a plan in place for that. Gordur is dangerously on the edge. He decides to try and cleave the guards. Only managing to hit one of them. Oh no. As such, only one guard takes damage. Oh my god. Thank you, strength bonus. He misses two of the guards, but is able to strike one of them down. This is not going well. Oh, God. Oh, boy. The guard's turn. One misses, one hits. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Had to do a bit of math there, but due to having the half orc traits, he survived on one. Oh, boy. Gordur's turn. He's gonna try cleaving the two again. Both miss. Guard's turn. They both miss. Gordur's turn. What is this combat? I'm on one hit point in the dream. Come on, come on, come on. Cleaving. Both miss. Guard's turn. Ah, crap. One of them missed, the other got a nat 20. Yeah. Gordur is down. Okay, so Gordur is dead. But I also don't want to re-roll another character or anything for this, so I'm gonna the guards take down Gordur. As such, they figure if we can... Hey, this guy took down two of us. And orc slaves go for quite a bit. I think the boss will like it if we kept him alive. Yeah. Enough to pay a handsome amount. Oh, orc slaves are good for manual labor. Probably be put to work in the mines. Or maybe for construction purposes. You're right. Let's take him with us. Gordur's consciousness fades. And the last thing he was conscious of was the feeling of iron being placed around his wrists. As he drifts off, the experiences of this fight and the kindness he's shown to the Flarebits have increased his level. But where he goes next, he does not know. Now, I'm sad to say, this is the end of the first episode of Gordur's adventure in the Twisted Worlds. Alright, so what did you guys think of that? It's disappointing that Gordur died? But that's the problem with solo campaigns. There's not much aggro. There's not much you can do. So, yeah. It's unfortunate. That we had a death. But thankfully, I'm sure you guys can forgive the fact that I basically just cheated a bit, but I gave him a bad consequence on his defeat. So I guess I was gonna ask, on the event that he would die, how would you guys want me to handle it? But that came way too sooner than I expected. Oh, God. What were those rolls? As such, the only... Yeah. So I'm guessing from here on, I'm gonna tally up how many deaths he's had. And maybe put some horrible consequences and stuff because of it or something. I don't know. How would you guys like me to handle it? Let me know in the comments. I just... What a first episode. The beginning of our adventure. The hero dies. Oh boy. So, yeah. I'll see you next week for the continuation of Gordur's journey. Ugh. What a episode.